Talking to yourself. Speaking out loud when no one else is around is often your brain's way of organizing complex thoughts into something clearer. When ideas stay in your head, they can overlap, interrupt each other, and feel scattered. Turning them into words forces structure and sequence, almost like laying them out step by step. It slows your thinking just enough to make it more deliberate and easier to follow. This is why people often talk themselves through problems, rehearse conversations before they happen, or repeat instructions out loud when trying to remember something important. Over time, this habit can strengthen memory and improve clarity because your brain treats spoken words differently than silent thoughts. It's not random behavior. It's a built-in system your mind uses to guide itself when things get complicated. Overthinking. Running the same thought through your mind again and again may feel like a flaw, but it often comes from your brain trying to examine every possible outcome before settling on one. Instead of accepting a quick answer, you naturally explore different angles, replay past situations, and imagine future scenarios in detail. This constant mental simulation can feel exhausting, especially when it leads to doubt or second-guessing. But it also builds a deeper awareness of patterns and consequences. You start noticing connections between actions and outcomes that others might miss. While it can slow decision-making, it also prepares you for situations in a way that quick thinkers don't always achieve. In many cases, this habit is less about indecision and more about your brain trying to fully understand the complexity of what's happening around you. Doodling and fidgeting, small movements like tapping your foot, playing with an object, or sketching random shapes may seem like distractions, but they often serve a purpose. When your environment doesn't provide enough stimulation, your brain looks for subtle ways to stay engaged. These actions act like a secondary channel of activity, preventing your attention from drifting too far away. Instead of losing focus completely, your mind stays partially anchored to the task. Research has shown that light physical activity can actually improve concentration in low-stimulation settings. It's your brain balancing itself, keeping just enough motion to maintain alertness while still processing information. What looks like restlessness is often a sign that your mind is trying to stay active rather than shutting down, questioning everything. When you constantly ask why things are the way they are, your mind refuses to accept information without understanding it. Instead of following rules or ideas blindly, you look for the reasoning behind them. This habit pushes you to explore deeper explanations and uncover details that others might overlook. It can sometimes make simple things feel complicated, but it also builds a stronger foundation of knowledge because you're not just memorizing information, you're understanding it. Throughout history, many breakthroughs have come from people who questioned basic assumptions. That same instinct, even in everyday situations, reflects a mind that is always searching for meaning rather than settling for surface-level answers. Being highly sensitive, noticing subtle changes in tone, expression, or atmosphere means your brain is processing more emotional and social information than most people realize. You may pick up on slight pauses in conversation, shifts in energy, or details in someone's behavior that others completely miss. This heightened awareness can make experiences feel more intense, and it can sometimes lead to feeling overwhelmed in busy or emotionally charged environments. However, it also allows you to understand situations on a deeper level. You're able to read between the lines, sense unspoken feelings, and recognize patterns in how people behave. This kind of sensitivity is closely tied to emotional intelligence, giving you the ability to navigate complex social situations with insight, even if it doesn't always feel easy. Having unusual obsessions. Diving deeply into niche or seemingly unimportant topics shows a strong drive for curiosity. Your brain isn't satisfied with surface-level understanding, so it continues exploring until it begins to see patterns and connections. What starts as a small interest can turn into hours of focused attention, where you absorb details, organize information, and build a deeper understanding of the subject. From the outside, these interests may seem random or unnecessary, but they train your ability to concentrate and think critically. This habit strengthens your capacity to learn quickly and connect ideas across different areas, which is a key part of creative and analytical thinking. Social awkwardness. Feeling out of sync in conversations can come from processing too much information at once. While others respond naturally in the moment, your mind may be analyzing tone, interpreting body language, predicting reactions, and considering different ways the conversation could unfold. This creates a delay between what you think and how you respond, making interactions feel uncomfortable or slightly off. It's not a lack of awareness, but often the opposite. Your brain is working through multiple layers of information at the same time. Although this can make casual conversations challenging, it also reflects a deeper level of thinking that becomes valuable in situations requiring analysis, focus, and problem solving. Procrastination. Delaying tasks is often seen as a lack of discipline, but it can reflect how your brain responds to timing and pressure. When a task feels distant, your mind may struggle to prioritize it, leading to distraction or avoidance. As the deadline approaches, however, the sense of urgency increases, and your focus becomes sharper. Distractions lose their appeal, and your attention locks onto what needs to be done. This shift can create a burst of productivity, where ideas connect quickly and work gets completed in a shorter amount of time. While it's not always the most stable way to work, it shows how your brain can switch into a highly focused state when it recognizes importance. Enjoying dark humor. Laughing at jokes that others find uncomfortable requires your brain to process multiple layers of meaning at once. You recognize the seriousness or taboo nature of the topic, and at the same time, reinterpret it in a way that feels unexpected or clever. This quick mental shift shows flexibility in thinking and an ability to move between different perspectives. It's not about ignoring the seriousness of the subject, but about understanding how contrast and surprise can create humor. This kind of processing involves pattern recognition and abstract thinking, which are both linked to more complex cognitive abilities. Staying up late. Being more active during late hours often gives your mind a quieter environment to work in. With fewer distractions and interruptions, your thoughts can flow more freely. The absence of noise allows your brain to explore ideas without constantly shifting attention. For some people, this creates a period of deep focus where creativity and problem-solving feel easier. While it may not align with typical schedules, it provides a mental space where connections can form more naturally. This doesn't mean staying up late is always beneficial, but it highlights how your brain may perform differently depending on the environment. Needing time alone. Spending time in solitude allows your brain to process the large amount of information it takes in throughout the day. Without constant interaction, you have space to reflect, organize your thoughts, and make sense of complex ideas. This quiet environment acts like a reset, helping your mind slow down and regain clarity. It also gives you the opportunity to connect different thoughts and develop ideas without interruption. Rather than being a sign of isolation, this need for alone time reflects a brain that requires space to function at its best.